In this edition of UTA Spotlight, we dive into the controversial topic of AI in content creation.
Additionally, we highlight how one student media celebrated Student Press Freedom Day.
Lastly, we take a look at how one UTA department powered through the cold temperatures. UTA Spotlight starts now.
Welcome to UTA Spotlight, where we bring UTA highlights straight to you. I'm Ophelia Jameson.
And I'm Ben Gervaisi. Thank you for joining us. Artificial intelligence is changing the way we create and design. But what happens when a university chooses AI over human artists? Reporter Jarir Rahman takes a closer look at how AI art is being implemented and perceived at UTA.
Across campus, dozens of banners are strung up to celebrate UTA's 130th birthday. But a closer look at the image reveals something interesting. The logo is AI generated. This is simply the latest example of AI imagery used in official UTA marketing and merchandise. On social media, students have voiced concerns about the university's decision to utilize AI designs, calling them, quote, lazy, ridiculous, and hilariously bad.
I think that it's a pretty expected reaction from the student body to feel undermined, to feel maybe even offended that a human student designer wasn't hired to create that artwork.
Beyond the backlash, a larger question is emerging. Where will human artists fit into this evolving industry? Professor Timothy Carvalho is at the forefront of AI pedagogy in visual design and shares his perspective.
I think that we need to embrace it, but we also need to be cautious about replacing humans in the creative output.
Professor Carvalho believes that the best way to incorporate AI in marketing isn't to exclude artists, but to include consumers.
We saw that with a recent campaign from Coca-Cola, where they launched a portal and they invited people to come in and create Coca-Cola artwork using an AI tool. We also saw that with Heinz Ketchup, and we saw it with Nutella.
There's no denying that AI design is here to stay. But as this technology reshapes the creative industries, universities must ensure they don't inadvertently overlook the talent and value of their artistic students.
It's on us, I think, as a university first to figure out what is the ethical use of this technology for various different industries.
Jarir Rahman, UTA Spotlight.
Visit the website below to see UTA's AI policies.
February 27th marks Student Press Freedom Day. I talk with students outside the Fine Arts Building to hear their thoughts of what it means to them. February 27th marks Student Press Freedom Day. They do appreciate the ability for student media to express freedom in their reporting abilities and rights. And UT Radio is gearing up for a big celebration of it. Tabling outside the Fine Arts Building, UT Radio encouraged students to give their ideas on what they would like to hear about in their student media, while also giving away some fun prizes along the way. UT Radio station manager, Emily Robinson, gave some more context over what she appreciates about student press freedom and the day itself.
Student Press Freedom Day is about us as college students celebrating the fact that we get to report on whatever we want to report on. We get to report on the hard stuff and the easy stuff. We get to talk about sports, theater, everything. It's us coming together and saying, like, we are the next generation of the press, and we are going to celebrate the freedom to express that.
Be sure to tune in to UTA Radio and other student press here at UTA, like the Shorthorn, and even here at UTA News. Ophelia Jameson, UTA News. Be sure to tune in to UTA Radio and other student press here at UTA, like the Shorthorn and Maverick Media.
Now to the canvas. I take a glimpse into the latest exhibition featured in the gallery at UTA.
Solace in Painting, Reflecting on a Tumultuous Century is an exhibition that is organized around thinking about the complex relationship between conflict and art.
The voice you just heard was that of Dr. Fletcher Coleman, Assistant Professor of Art and Art History at UTA and the organizing curator for this exhibition.
It takes three artists who are engaging with their own conflict experiences in their biography and the production of their artwork, but who produce art that, again, does not representationally depict conflict or their experiences in any way.
The exhibition allows visitors to think about the question of what makes art valuable.
Most importantly, As I've said, this is just wonderful artwork, and this is your opportunity to get in on the ground floor of seeing this artwork in person before, hopefully, anyway, I hope that it goes off to major museums and private collections.
UTA's initiative to provide students with quality exhibitions has yielded a number of firsts, including this being the first national traveling exhibition the gallery at UTA has originated.
I am proud of the community here at UTA, and I am delighted with the results of this exhibition.
Ben Gervasi, UTA Spotlight. Solace in Painting, reflecting on a tumultuous century, will be on view at the gallery at UTA until March 29th. Admission is free and open to the public.
Recently, the MEC had an event called Rec Day, where they had a lot of activities for UTA students to come out and enjoy themselves. The Maverick Activity Center had an event called Rec Day, where you get to do a lot of activities involving fitness and other events. This event is for students to unwind and get a little bit of fun workout before class, and after you finish the activities, you get a free t-shirt. If you're looking to be fit or have some fun, Campus Rec has everything for you.
February 27th marks Pokemon Day, celebrating the start of the series in its storied history until now. Basement director Britt Laviere gives more insight into the day and how the basement celebrates.
They celebrate every year. They will do announcements of new games. That's what they did this year. They announced new games, whether it's mobile, the mainline games, and so we use today to bring everybody together to do things like trivia, create pixel art, all sorts of different events. They can come in the basement and just celebrate the Pokemon franchise with everybody else.
The basement hosts events similar to its Pokemon Day celebration throughout the semester, with upcoming events including D&D night on Wednesdays and a Five Nights at Freddy's themed trivia night as well. Students can learn more about upcoming events on the UTA events calendar and directly in the Basement Games Center.
As the temperature dropped on campus, one UTA department was not stopped by the cold.
The campus recreation department hosted its annual polar bear plunge, where students jumped into a chilly pool and traveled across to finish the challenge. On the other hand, the event helped the community.
So the Polar Bear Plunge is a fundraiser for the Maverick Pantry. So we essentially, items we collect for the students who are participating in the event today will be donated and taken over to the Maverick Pantry.
On top of that, the already chilly temperatures added a new aspect to the event. Here's what one jumper thought about the event and the frigid climate.
The cold weather does affect it really, a lot. Most people, especially from my club, said they can't show up because of the cold weather and the icy roads. But I think it's a better experience doing it more cold.
Despite the cold weather, the event was still going to happen outside.
Ultimately, I think the weather didn't have too much an effect on it. I mean, this was actually one of our larger or more highly anticipated attendance events we've had in terms of the Polar Bear Plunge. Last year, the weather was actually warmer and we had less participation. So with this year weather being colder, I definitely thought there might have been a dip in participation, but for some reason this year, and actually we did very good numbers in terms of attendance wise.
Even though people were freezing, they still enjoyed the atmosphere. Daniel Castagna, UTA Spotlight.
Temperatures that night got down to 12 degrees, but the water temperature was a balmy 50 degrees.
Natasha, Pierre, Andre. A story of love around the true events of the Comet of 1812. The UTA Theater Department brought Dave Malloy's love story to life this weekend at the Studio Theater. Reporter Jason Hawley caught up with some of the actors.
Over this past weekend, the UTA Theater Department put on the show Natasha, Pierre, and the Comet of 1812. I was able to get an interview with one of the members in attendance who was there to tell us about the show.
Comet was absolutely amazing. It's my favorite musical ever, and so I was so excited to see it. They did a brilliant job with the staging in there, and it was really interesting because there were very few scenic pieces or props, and yet with all the lighting, with the way the characters interacted with the space, you felt like you were there. And oh my gosh, it was just absolutely brilliant. The singing was beautiful, and it I was crying. There were so many fun surprises in there too, like the ensemble. There were a bunch of chairs in the front row that they were sitting in, and they had clothes on. And at the very first song, they would took off their jackets or whatever, and they got up and started dancing. And then they would come and sit back down and then sing there. So it was so interactive. I felt like there was so much love put into it, and they wanted us to be a part of it too. It was so amazing.
That's all I have for today for this edition of UTA Spotlight. To stay up to date with us, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at MevMediaUTA.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a highlight again. I'm Ben Javasi.
And I'm Ophelia Jameson. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.